Welcome back to the Frugal Millionaires podcast, where we explore all things personal finance, self-development, and business. Before we get started with today's episode, please do me a huge favor and click that thumbs up button to like and also subscribe if you have not yet done so. Please turn on all post notifications so that you don't miss any of our future content. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Frugal Millionaires. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with today's episode.
My name is Brieon Mitchell, a corporate professional, investor, content creator, expat living abroad, and a frugal millionaire.
In today's episode, we're going to have a conversation. And what I want you all to think about is, what behaviors do you possess? Whether those are positive behaviors or whether those are bad behaviors around money. And while you're thinking about that, there's a couple of things that we're going to really talk about to kind of enhance this conversation. But have you ever been in a situation that you were reading about someone and you suddenly found out that they made a really bad money decision? And you couldn't help but think, wow, it must be crazy. Or maybe you heard about a family member, a relative, a neighbor, or even someone you respect who used to be really rich, but then lost most of their money in a short time. And you couldn't help but get frustrated, wondering why they could not manage their money better. So maybe some of us have had a similar experience or thoughts one way or another. When we look at how people handle money, it's easy to jump to conclusions and think some of them must be out of their mind. In fact, people make poor money choices not because they lack intelligence, but because everyone has their own unique way of dealing with money. And you have yours. It turns out that when you were born, that can greatly influence how you think about money and how you choose to invest it. For instance, if you were born during a time of low inflation, you're more likely to put your money into maybe bonds as an investment, whereas someone who's born during a period of high inflation might have a completely different approach. You see, being successful with money is not just about being smart. It's actually about how you behave when it comes to finances. And here's the tricky part. Teaching good financial behavior is tough, even for very, very smart and intelligent folks. So we've often been taught that our successes and failures in life are solely the result of our actions. If you fail, it must be because you did something wrong. And if you succeed, you're considered brilliant or a genius. But real life doesn't always follow that script. Smart, well thought out investment decisions have sometimes gone sour or wrong. And people have made profits, on the other hand, with what seemed like a risky business move. So clearly, there's more to success than just brains and hard work. And it could come off a bit prideful to assume that all of your successes are solely the result of your hard work. You see, the bottom line is, it's not really fair to judge someone's financial situation without knowing the whole story or the details. While we can't control everything, there are still many aspects of our financial lives, our financial situation that we can influence. And it would be wise of us to focus on maximizing the things that we can control. So let's take a look. Let's really go into this. Let's take a look at some signs which may suggest bad money behaviors exist. Number one, you're constantly broke or coming up short. You choose to pay your bills at the last minute. You think more money will solve your problems. You tend not to be as transparent or forthcoming about your financial picture. You constantly worry about not having enough money. You find yourself spending money carelessly. You have a high amount of credit card debt. You feel like you have to spend money just to enjoy yourself. You frequently overspend and make excuses for why it's not your fault. You refuse to talk about money. On the other hand, you talk about money in a negative way. You have a challenge or you struggle with turning down social engagements or social invitations, even when you cannot afford it. You compare your financial situation to others. And this is a big one here. You possess limiting beliefs around money. You think you need to have a certain amount of money to be happy. You may blame different circumstances for your financial condition. And last but definitely not least, you always have an excuse for not being able to save. And these are just some common, or what I would consider typical, bad behaviors around money. And these are behaviors that we definitely need to avoid. On the other hand, we'll take a look at what are some of the positive behaviors that you may possess when it comes to your money. Number one, you've got a budget and you're actually sticking to it. What's the purpose of having a budget that you're not going to stick to it? You also have an emergency fund. You're saving for retirement. You're paying off debt. And get this, you're avoiding accumulating new debts. You've even gotten yourself into a point to where you have multiple streams of income. You're living either within or below your means financially. You have very clear financial goals and you're working toward them. I really like this one. You're investing in your financial education. And many of you all who are watching Frugal Millionaires are doing just that. And then last but not least, you have a sense of financial peace and control. So these are the key positive behaviors that you definitely want to take a look at to ensure that you're either possessing these positive behaviors or either you're moving in the direction to where you can begin to possess these positive money behaviors. So there you have it, Frugal Millionaires family. Thank you for staying with us to the end here. And if you have not done so yet, please give this video a thumbs up and like it. If there's something that was shared, please, by all means, drop us a comment down below and share your insights or either your personal experience with us. We'd love to hear from you. And also, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you have not done so yet. And continue to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.